Ooh, did I scare you? Well, if you're squeamish, unlike me and many people I know, you might be. So don't say I didn't warn ya.
Just see those sleigh bells jingling, ring, tingle, tingling. I'm on lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you.
Hey guys, ho guys, it's Blaze, and it just wouldn't be Blazemas if we didn't discuss the birth of me and the fact that I was born with a serial killer in very close proximity to me, and I mean that within the same building as me, very, very close to me. Not just a serial killer, probably, possibly the most prolific serial killer of all time. So we're going to talk about it. Trigger warning, if you don't like talking or listening or hearing about killings or serial killers, don't watch this video. But if you're sick and twisted and interested and curious in all things weird, stick around for this one. The day was August 13th, 1988, in St. Barnabas Hospital in Livingston, New Jersey. Alas, I was born. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make this as lighthearted as possible because this is actually a horrible, horrible topic, and we're speaking about a horrible, horrible, disgusting man, and like a really, really sad subject. And I'm gonna try to give you guys some facts about this person and say I do not condone anything that this person done. I just found it like so appropriate that this is the way I came into the world. I have always had an obsession with serial killers and their psychology and their psychopathology and like why it is that they do what they do and what makes them tick, you know? So a little bit of a backstory on how I found this out, okay? Me and my mother were having just a regular chat, and I was in my late teens or early 20s, something like that, and the topic of my birth came up because, of course, all we do is talk about me because I'm a Leo high. And my mother had mentioned, just very casually, by the way, you know that there was a serial killer working in the hospital the night and day you were born in that hospital. Hold up. Details? I'd like more information, please. So he wasn't working the maternity unit. I want to make that very clear. So it's not like he was near me or my mother. I'd like to hope in my twisted mind and heart that maybe if my father went to a vending machine or while they were rolling my mother in through the hospital in the hallways, that maybe like they passed by him or bumped into him or said hi. I just think that'd be so not cool, but just he was either working ICU or CCU. He worked in this hospital from 1986 to 1988. I was born in 1988. He started his killings in that we know of between 1986 and 1988. Lucky me. So you may have heard of him, but may have not. If you have, it was probably rather recently, and there is a reason I'm talking about this now, and I will get to that. His name was Charles Cullen. I will probably go back and forth between calling him Charles and Charlie because I've always been used to calling him Charlie, but some people call him Charles, just like Charlie Manson and Charles Manson. I've always called him Charles Manson, but some people call him Charlie Manson, so Charlie Cullen, Charles Cullen, whatever. I will also be giving some factoids about Charlie Cullen in this story time, just to put some flavor into that. Otherwise, this story time would be over in 3 minutes. Yeah, he was working in the hospital the day I was born. And the nights my mom was in labor with me. there you go. So Charlie Cullen was born in 1960 in West Orange, New Jersey. Of course, why do you have to be born in New Jersey? And he's actually still alive. Green. He had a wife named Adriana, but they divorced, I believe, around the time shortly before they found out. He'd be murdering lots of people. He had 2 children, and he was a certified nurse. He worked in both the ICU and the CCU, and he worked in 9 different hospitals. And this is just another reason I hate the medical field. If you guys don't know, all hospitals, including the last one where he got caught, all had their suspicions on Charlie that he was offing his patients, but they didn't say anything because doctors, nurses, medical assistants, anybody working in the medical field will not, even to the police, will not go against each other. They will keep their mouths shut. They will keep that very tight-lipped, and even when it comes to court, they will just not go against anybody. They will stick together. And even when it comes to murdering patients, they just won't say anything, and they'll say, hey, we're letting you go due to you lied on your resume. Even when they know that they are murdering patients. And 9 different hospitals did this with Charlie Cullen. This is how he was getting away and was able to get away with killing so many innocent lives. Now, he became officially a nurse in 1986, but they say he didn't start killing people until 1988. But, that's a little bit up to debate. His preferred method of killing and what we know of his really only way of killing, he would spike the IV bags. He would give patients that did not need it lidocaine, anesthetic, insulin when they did not have diabetes, digoxin, which is just so messed up. You can look up these medications, and a cocktail of this will just, even one of these medications, giving somebody insulin when they do not have diabetes, instantly will kill them. He even stalked and harassed another nurse, at least one other nurse that we know of, and the hospitals, again, did nothing about it. The police did their best with this, with what they had to work with, which they did not really have much because the hospitals gave them almost nothing to work with, and what they did give them was mostly false information. It wasn't all just 9 hospitals in New Jersey. The majority of the hospitals were in New Jersey, but they were in Pennsylvania as well. He was even allowed to resign from one of the hospitals after he was caught stealing lethal medication. He was allowed to quit. They gave him that option. Not even fired, just quit. I have a personal vendetta with the medical field for so many reasons. I have an aunt, and the medical field, she's been sick since birth with so many issues that I'm not going to get into. And even if I could, I can't, because I can't keep up with it. They've almost killed her 3-4 times, and she's hired the best attorneys, and she could not win because nobody will go against each other in the medical field. They've almost killed her on the operating table and medication-wise so many times, and no one could help her because nobody will go against each other in the medical field, and it is so wrong and so frustrating. Amy Lauren, I can't pronounce your last name, I'm sorry, but you were an angel, because she went undercover even though she was Charlie's best friend. But she went undercover when she started suspecting some things were really wrong. She went undercover with the police to get Charlie to confess to some things and to some murders. Just a little bit. Charlie eventually admitted to 40 killings. He killed 40 patients. He admitted to that. And police say only 40. Like, that's not enough. But police have connected him with over 400 patients. 400. 400. When he confessed to only 40. I said only myself. 40 he confessed to, but over 400. And how did he get away with this? Because the hospitals let him. They knew about it, or at least suspected it, and did nothing. In prison, a couple people thought he was a saint because he donated one of his kidneys to his ex-girlfriend's brother. How about you donate your brain to science, like, right now? Just do it. Just, you know, I don't promote, you know, murder, no, I promote, like, what happened to Jeffrey Dahmer. He deserved it. I'm not saying he deserved it. Just kidding. I'm absolutely saying he deserved it. But the judge in his case hated this man so much that he had him gagged with duct tape during his trial. He didn't want him saying anything. He was like, shh. He gave him like the Dr. Evil treatment. He was like, shh. When a problem comes along, you must zip it. Psh, zip it good. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you talk because I know you're going to talk. Gagged with duct tape. Bravo, sir. Your Honor. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And what was his defense? Big shocker. He suffered from mental health issues his entire life. So have I. Did I kill over 400 innocent, helpless people? No, not even one. Not even one. It's not an excuse. Millions of people in this country alone, just in this country, not even around the world, I'm counting, millions of people suffer from mental illness or mental health issues in this country and never harm a soul. You cannot make that an excuse. At first, he really, when the police and everything, they were like, so why you do this? He said he didn't really have an explanation. He was like, I don't know. That was like in the first interviews. He was just like, first of all, he was silent. He didn't say a word. And then he was just kind of like, I don't know. But then eventually he was like, I did it out of mercy. Bitch, you are not an angel of mercy. Okay, these people, some of these people were just in because like they had migraines or some shit. Like, yeah, people suffer when they have migraines for like a few hours. That doesn't mean you kill them. And of course, to avoid the death penalty, he pleaded guilty. That is the only reason he pleaded guilty, was to avoid the death penalty. Gosh damn it. And he is still rotting in prison to this day, and he will rot in prison for the rest of his life, which I actually think is better than the death penalty. I think rotting in prison is better, and also the death penalty, and I know from born and raised in New Jersey, and I know a lot about crime and the laws and everything like that. He would be sitting on death row for the rest of his life anyway. He would die in prison anyway, so it really doesn't matter. One good thing to come out of his disgusting, just horrible acts was that his murders caused changes in state laws. So that's a good thing. The Patient Safety Acts, so that this kind of shit doesn't happen again. Hopefully. I mean, there have been other nurses. There are other killer nurses, but he is known as the killer nurse or the good nurse, which we're going to get into in just one second. Which means that technically state hospitals are required to tell the police when they suspect that maybe some of their faculty members are doing things that are sus, a little bit suspicious, you know? The reason I wanted to do this story time now, not because of the holiday season, was because Netflix recently came out with a movie, and a very good movie, and a very good documentary, both called The Good Nurse, I believe, starring Jessica Chastain in the movie, and in the movie Eddie Redmayne plays them. Great casting in the movie, and the movie, like I said, fantastic. Absolutely watch it. And the documentary, absolutely amazing. Please watch it. Both very, very good. And when I watched, and I was like, when I saw that it comes up, you know how Netflix will like pop up like on your phone, like, hey, you might like this. It's like, why? Because I watch every documentary on murders and serial killers. And I was like, oh, Charlie Cullen, I know him. He was in the building the day I was born. So I was very interested in watching both of those. So that is why I thought I would do this story time right now, because it brought up, I was like, I always think, I'm like, what story times can I do? Like, I've already discussed like most of like the interesting things that have happened in my life, and then a light bulb went off, and I was like, why did I not talk about one of the most interesting things that has ever happened in my life? How could I not? So that is the story, basically, of the time I was born. With one of the most, if not the most prolific serial killer of all time, being in very close proximity the day I was brought into the world, which I think is kind of just perfect, you know? I think that was the right way for me to be born. I think it makes sense. And just the disgusting, despicable acts of Charlie, whatever, Cullen. I think he's an even worse Cullen than the vampires. So if you guys haven't already and you'd like to, please go down below, hit the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel right now and become a Blazer and a part of the Blaze Nation. We'd love to have you here as long as you're as wicked as we are. Woo! And I will speak to you guys very, very soon. And until next time, my wicked ones, my beautiful ones, I hope you're having a wonderful Blazemas, a wonderful December, a wonderful holiday season. And I'll speak to you guys very, very soon. Until next time. Please don't fangirl or fanboy or fan them over any of them unless it's Eileen Warnos. Stay wicked.